Hello, my name is Kat. Welcome to my channel. Today we have a wrap-up. Hello, how are you doing today? I hope you're having a wonderful day. So today's video is about the books that I read the last couple months. I know it's a little late. It's almost the middle of May, and I was planning to post this video the first weekend of May, and I was planning to film it the last Sunday or the last weekend of April. But that weekend I was a little sick, like not really sick. I live in Florida, so it's a lot of allergies going on. So I wasn't feeling the best of myself. So I decided, okay, I can make the video the same day that I'm planning to post it. But when that day came, I feel like I wasn't ready to make a video. I didn't want to rush it. I didn't want to rush to edit it, and didn't want to rush to talk about the books and try to put it at the same day. So I decided to just, okay, it's gonna be all right if you post it later on. And now we are here. I didn't read too many books, so let's just go dive in, because I get the feeling that if I keep talking, this video is gonna be real long. So let's talk about the books that I read in the month of March. It wasn't that many, but I think that one, it was more successful than the next one. Let's start with the audiobooks. So the audiobook that I read, I need to double check because I want to make sure I said the title complete, the name of the author complete. So it was Star Wars Kenobi by John Jackson Miller. And this one, it was actually a reread. This one, I did like few videos ago, my audio kind of recap. And I realized that many of the books that I get it on my audio, I kind of forgot about them. So I decided to go back and reread some of the Star Wars especially. So I get this Kenobi. The first time I kind of didn't like it that much. This time around, I think it's a little better. It's set during the time when Kenobi is dropping the kid to his family, Luke, and he's gonna try to protect him from his side, don't be too much involved, and he has to meet new people in that planet, and he has to try to don't be so obvious to who he was, and how he started connecting with the people in the planet, how he was trying to figure it out, how he's gonna protect Luke and all of that. So it's kind of what it was supposed to be, the series on Disney. But I think I did like this one better. I wish the series will be more that kind of style that we presented on this book. I didn't like some parts. I don't know, maybe it's just in general, I don't like when they present like a lot of some romance going on there, that I don't know, I think it was unnecessary, that part of the story. But the rest of the story, I find it really good. I would recommend it. I think this time around I like it much better than the first time, and I actually remember more about it. So that was my audiobook for the month of March. Then when I finished my last wrap up, I was just beginning to read Malice. So what we can say about this one? So it's clearly a chosen one story. It's a setup story, and it's about a land where they have giants and they have the humans, and they decide to fight each other. They have some kind of prophecy that somebody's gonna come and is gonna create a game chaos, and they will have to fight each other again. And they have different kingdoms, and one main kingdom that controls the other ones. And some of them, they are not having they are not in a really good terms. They're trying to be more powerful than the other ones, and it has a lot of characters. What I like of this book, I would say almost everything. It's really a setup story. You get introduced a lot of characters, but every character has a really good development during the story. You kind of really get to know them, even the side characters and the main characters. You kind of grow with them until the end, and you get like kind of attached to every single character. Like I said, even the small side characters. And some side characters that I thought they would be just side characters, they became like a bigger characters during the story. I like the main character that I think is Coban, right? Corban, yes. I like how his relationship with his friends, how his values, they are very always stand up. And I like the structure of the story. Like he present every character, like we can see every point of view, and that make it easier to follow the story, to read it, and at the same time kind of understand what's going on every kingdom, and how it's going to start the big conflict. Because this one is for real, like I set up, like when you finish this one, the main conflict is just starting. What I can say, I have struggled with them, because I cannot say I dislike something on this book. What I struggled, maybe it was that it has a lot of characters. So at the beginning I have to kind of write down the names and where kingdom belong, and to kind of have an idea and not get lost with the storylines. I think that it was the only bad point that I can find, but it was not from because of the book. It was more my, oh my God, it's so heavy to hold this book. It's 700 something pages, so it's heavy. My hand's getting tired. So I think it was really good. I highly recommend it. I didn't start the second book right away, and actually starting this month, the second book. And that's it. I think you have to read it. It has amazing point of views, great animal companions, excellent growing from the characters, very good development, and the chapters are very short, easy to follow. Highly recommended. My hand is very tired. Let's move on to the next one. Oh, it's heavy. So next one, I read Agatha Christie, and I will not say the name. So when I chose this book to read that month, I was asking my brother, hey, I have so many of this one and I just keep collecting them, so I maybe should read one of them. It's a short book and I think I can manage to read one. Which one you think I should read? So I start telling him the names, and he said, read the one that you cannot pronounce. And it's this one. I have troubles pronouncing the use. It's Sleeping Murder. So that's the one. That's the one I read. I'm going to rest a little bit my hand because the other book was very heavy. So for this book, I kind of create this little thing. I'm not going to hold it too long. I put myself like page to page. And okay, let's start from the beginning. This one is my first book that is about the what is Miss Mar-Apr detective. It's the first one that I read about her. Most of the ones that I read before from Agatha Christie, it was for the period detective. And I did like this one a little better than the other ones. It's about this woman that she moves to England, and they move to a house, and in that house she start like having some things going on that make her think that something happened in the house, and Miss Mar-Apr is gonna came out and help them to resolve what happened in the house and how they are connected, and if it been a crime there, or if it's just part of the woman's imagination and that kind of thing. What I did like about this particular one is that it's not the typical detective that she's gonna do the investigation. She kind of guide the two other people that they are kind of the main characters in the book to resolve the crime. She put at the very end kind of the pieces together, but she's not really the one who is doing the whole investigation herself, like going to do the interviews and digging the information. She just go around and kind of push the other two to get the information. So it was a really interesting. The thing that I did with this one kind of have a little more fun. Like I said, I'm going to show you again. I create this little paper. So I put the very beginning, I put the page 1 to 67. I kind of read that part and said what kind of crime it was, if and who was the victim, and kind of noted who I think is the one who committed the crime. Write the name, and when I finished the book, I kind of check myself if I was right in my guessing, or if I was wrong, or if I was close to it, because since I've been putting like what it was the crime, my possible suspects, and all of that, so I kind of follow the story and I kind of correct how close I was to resolve the crime, or if I resolve it together with the story. It was fun for me to do that. It was a little more engaging and entertaining. After I read this one, I think I like the Mar-Apr stories better than the period. So I will try eventually another Mar-Apr mystery to see if I get the same feeling. And that was all for the month of March. Then we move on to the month of April. Let's start again with my audios. This time I did Untitled. I will put the cover somewhere, and it's by Glennon Doyle. So this one, it's been a very popular book, and I decided to get this one because it's presented like a memoir. I think the author is a really popular person who is giving a speech how to improve yourself and that kind of thing. So when I pick up the book, I was expecting like a memoir, or it was presented like a memoir, and it is a memoir. It's a book about the time when the author realized that she is a woman, that she likes women, and before she was married and she had kids, and she had books that she wrote about the marriage and how you can overcome some problems and that kind of thing. And on this book, she's talking about that part of her life and how it was so hard for her to change and explain herself and accepted who she is. So then on between of all of that, she shows us how she make a new family with her wife and with her ex-husband, and how the kids they work with her and all of that. And also she talks a lot of the issues with the society, how they put the people in the boxes. The girls, they need to be girls, the boys, they need to be boys, and they're supposed to behave like this way, and boys, they're supposed to behave this other way. So the main thing is very interesting. I like the parts when she's remembering things and when she's telling us the story. What I didn't like is not because the book is bad, it's just because I wasn't expecting that. The book reads more like a self-help book, because she's trying to tell you or give you advices that how you're supposed to do things, or how you're supposed to analyze some part of your lives. And I kind of understand it, because she is that kind of person, that she's been doing speeches, that she's been writing that kind of books, that they are self-help. That part kind of bothered me a little bit, because I was expecting a complete like memoir, plain memoir. So the book is good. It wasn't what I was expecting. This one is Gables, and of Green Gables. This one, it was the pick for my March and April for my book club with my friend, and is considered a children's book. This is about a girl that she's been adopted from two people, like old people. They are brother and sister, and they were thinking they would adopt a boy, but they ended up getting a girl. And this girl is very funny and eloquent, and she has a lot of imagination, and I would say the writing is excellent, because whoever can write and put a person who is jumping from one thing to another thing and talking about something, and then suddenly something else, and then putting together the situation with the other people, the writing, it was really good. And I would really recommend. I would say read this one for sure. It's a classic that it must to be read, and it's very nice. It's very comforting, and it doesn't take too long to read, and make you feel good. It make you just feel good. I didn't like too much Anne at the beginning. It take me a little bit to get used to her personality, because she has like a is it has a very strong personality, very hype, and it took me a minute to get used to her personality. But I really like the book. I really recommend it. Is so far one of the best books that we read for my book club, for the classics that we're reading, because probably the writing is easy to follow, and the story is very nice and very comforting. So there you go, Anne of Green Gables. I think you should read it 100%. So let's go to, hold on. Let's finish with my other physical book, and then we're gonna go back to something else. So then I have A Flicker in the Dark. This is one of my books from the Book of the Month selection. It was, I think, the semi-finalist of the best of the books that they get last year. It's about this girl that she was witness of some crime in the past, and that past kind of haunting her whole life. And now that she is like 20 years later, that past kind of came back, and it feels like it's living it all over again. She's thinking, like, she's imagining things, and she's became very susceptible about other stuff. And in her present time, some crimes happen, and they are very similar to what she was witnessed before. So for real, everything is happening again, and she needs to discover, and she needs to kind of find a way to put a stop of this so she can move on. It's reads like a real crime, like a true crime book, I think. I didn't really read too many true crime books, but it gets the feeling of that kind of book. The story was very interesting at the beginning. Maybe in the 20% of the book that I was going through, I kind of predict who will be the person who commit the crimes, and who was behind the whole thing. I will say the end, it kind of bothers me a little bit. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not good. I'm very bad with the ends. I'm never happy with any kind of end. My hand is hurting. I guess because the Malice book, it was too heavy. I'm sorry. Like, I want to drop my hand. But yeah, I did like it, but I don't think it's so mind-blowing like I was thinking it will be. It is good. It is read a little different from a mystery or from a thriller. Like I said, it feels like more like a true crime book. Obviously, it's a fiction, but it feels like that kind of thing. And if you're just looking for something fast to read and a little different kind of style, I think it's a good go. It's not a mind-blowing, but it's not a bad book. Something in between. Okay, then let's go to this one. Okay, this one is by Philippa Gregory, and it's The White Princess. And technically, this book, I was thinking, okay, I'm in the middle of this book. I started this book like long ago. I cannot remember when I started, like long ago, but it's not really hard to remember what it's about. So I thought, okay, maybe it's time for me to finish this book, and I can go through some audio between reading and audio. And when I opened the book, in my head, I was thinking I was maybe half through the book in my head. When I go and pick up the book and I actually check where I was, it's not even 10% of the book. So I said, okay, never mind. I'm going to just find the audio and just get through the audio and finish it. I did finish. I didn't like it much. I think they have a series, TV series already. And I did read a book from her before. Let me find the name. Okay, the one that I read long ago, it was The Last Tudor. I did like that one. It was more interesting than this one, I think. They were going on and on about the relationship with the princess and the new king and all of that. So some things it was, I was listening but not really listening. So it's a lot of things that they are like based on true events. How close to the real event it is hard to say. It's always going to be some modifications to make it work for the story. If you like those historical fictions with a lot of romance and about kings and queens and princes, it fits the boxes. And I think if I have to choose between this one and the one that I read before, The Last Tudor, I think I like The Last Tudor better. But I don't think I'm going to continue to read any of her books anymore. Plus, they have the TV shows on Netflix, I think. And they are long. They are not really short books. They are like 525 pages. I don't remember how long it was, the other one. But I don't think it's worth my time, to be honest. It's not bad, but it's not anymore my type of book. Maybe long ago it was, but not anymore. Finally, the one that I get on an ebook, it was Finley Donovan is Killing It, the first book by Ele Cosimano. Okay, this one is very popular. I saw it in a lot of Instagram pictures and some of booktubers, they talk about it. Some people is very fun about it. So it's about this girl that she's a writer. She's struggling in her life. She needs to meet her editor in a place. They met in a place, and in that place one woman heard her talking, and somehow she get confused with a person that she can kill people for money. So then the story start from there. And it sounds very interesting. It's supposed to set in a present time. You get a lot of mentions about places and food and people and stuff that we know because it's set on the present time. So it's supposed to feel like something real, I guess, that can happen to somebody in a crazy world. And then it's supposed to be funny. The resolution of the problem or how she get off her situation, it was like totally unrealistic for me. So overall, I didn't like it. Supposed to be funny, but I didn't find it funny. Another thing that I disliked about the book or the writing, she used a lot of smells to describe the situations or the places or the scenes. And in one point I was like, okay, I don't want to know if it smells like that. And I don't know. I didn't like it. I don't think it's my type of writing, and I don't think it's my type of story. I don't know. I will stop there. I didn't like it. Mine, it was not my best for the month. That's why I was saying April, the good one, the only good, like I was happy to read from all of them, it was Anne Green Gables. The second one that I think it was worth it, but I wasn't happy about it, not because the book is bad, it's just because I wasn't expecting that, it was Untamed. And the other ones, they are like in the okay level, more, some of them more, less than the okay level. And finally, I have to say, I have this one. This one is Jacqueline in Paris. It's supposed to be a historical fiction, and it's about Jackie Kennedy and when she was young. I'm on the page 90, and it has 300 something pages. So far, I don't know what to say about this book. It is not bad. kind of interesting what they are trying to say, like trying to present to you, like before Jackie Kennedy be a Jackie Kennedy, it was somebody else. Like she was a person before being a Jackie Kennedy, and how she ended up in that position. They're trying to go through her past. It is it's kind of slow pace. So for some reason I was having so hard time to keep reading it and keep reading it. So I decided to stop and go and pick up something else. And then I will come back to this one. I don't know when. I still feel like I'm not in the mood maybe to read it, and it's a slow pace, and I was feeling like it was dragging me down and I couldn't keep going to other books. I didn't read enough to say like I will DNF this book, and plus I don't really DNF books. I have that thing that I have to finish it. So that's all I've been reading so far. I did read one book this month so far, and I'm going through my second audiobook from Star Wars, and I just started the second book on the Fate of the Fallen saga. So that's what's going on. Oh, one more thing. I did, if you remember my last wrap up, I was reading some short stories. I didn't have any progress on that. So I will keep trying to find a way to read the short stories. It's still pending, the same like the Jacqueline in Paris, still kind of in a pending status. I'm not DNFing it. It's just there. I need to go back to them. And I think that's it for today. If you like the video, thumbs up. If you want to know if I post another video, ring the campanita. And thank you for watching. Bye. Bye.